Humans are curious creatures and like to explore a lot, but that's not always feasible, especially when those places are narrow and small. Sometimes these places tend to be really absurd, like a claw machine, and other times it's as simple as an elevator. So here are some of the craziest places people have gotten stuck in. A 34-year-old had the longest cigarette break of his life when he went outside for a smoke. The break took an unexpected turn when the elevator stopped working. He pressed the alarm over and over, but it was 11 at night, and there was a very small chance that someone would actually come to get him. The poor man had no watch, phone, water, or even food. The man would pace around the elevator for some time and then sit down. This went on for so long that he had no idea what time of day it was. After spending 41 hours in the elevator with no food or water, the man thought he was going to die of dehydration. But on Sunday at precisely 4 p.m., he heard a voice on the intercom, and he was eventually rescued. After such a traumatic event, you would think he avoids all elevators, but he still takes them. In fact, he said, "Living in Manhattan, I'd be seriously limiting my life if I didn't take elevators." This story might not be as scary, but for a parent, it's still a nightmare. A kid named Joey was going on about his day when he thought this would be a good way to pass the time. He managed to get his head in, but it got stuck for a very long time. At least Joey's dogs were there to keep him company. Kids and their shenanigans lead to all sorts of things. This one just happened to be quite public. His dad tried to open up the metal bars a little, but that proved to be useless. The most shocking part is how Joey manages to get out. He simply passes through the bars and walks out the other side as if nothing happened. Kids might not have a lot of authority when they're young, but one of the things they can do is get into places no one is allowed to go. This little girl wanted a few prizes for herself, and the only way she thought it was suitable was if she climbed into the machine. The weirdest part is that the parents were supportive of this, as if she had done this before. After the girl pushed down a whole bunch of balls and prizes into the opening, she tried to get back out, but got stuck in the middle. You can even see her disappear for a while. Eventually, she gets out. But what a crazy idea in the first place. Working with any sort of complicated machinery is scary, and this poor guy got the short end of the stick. According to the fire department in San Diego, they received a report at about 5:30 of a guy who had gotten his whole arm stuck in an automatic industrial tortilla dish. A team of over 10 people reached there and used every tool they had, from crowbars to wrenches. In the end, they managed to get him out of the main body, but a part of the machine was still stuck to him as if it were glued. The poor worker's hand was totally crushed. However, he had the appropriate medical care he needed. The paramedics managed to rescue him after all. TikTok and its viral trends have all of us in a chokehold. And despite all the silly little TikTok dancers there are, this girl forgot her choreography. Because who cares about that when Waka Waka by Shakira is on? The girl gets a little too carried away though. She starts to dance with a glass coffee table top. You would expect her to drop it and break it into a million pieces. Well, she dances back to the table, sits inside the little space, and places the lid on top of her head. Weirdly enough, she actually gets stuck in there. At the end of the TikTok, you can literally see her struggle to get out. We don't know what happened next, but by the looks of her TikTok, it's clear that she managed to get out. Teenagers have nothing better to do than mess around. A small YouTuber named Harry was dared by his friend to go under a bridge just for a pack of candies, worth merely $1. Well, being the teen he is, he accepted the challenge and shimmied his way under the little space. The only problem? Well, he couldn't get out of the same tiny opening he had gotten in from. His friends tried their best to pull him out, but all it did was turn him red and stressed. Luckily, they found a solution. All he had to do was turn around and get out the wrong way. Make notes if you're planning on sneaking into any tiny crevices. If you have a fear of heights, then this would be the worst place to get stuck. However, this 8-year-old kid managed to stay strong throughout the whole thing. She was on a ski lift at Sugarloaf, which was about 20 feet high. Due to some malfunctions and also the fact that she wasn't strapped in properly, the little girl got stuck in midair. Not only was she alone up in the sky, but she was definitely scared to death too. The brave little soul had a whole rescue team to back her up. All she had to do was jump off of the ski lift. Yeah, you heard that right. Then, falling right into a thick blanket, a bunch of people were holding on the ground.
It's all right.
The net managed to break her fall, so much so that she managed to jump down fully conscious and alert. Unfortunately, she said her back hurt, and that's why a medical helicopter was instantly summoned. Ski lifts aren't the only things kids get stuck in all the time. Even regular swings are too dangerous for kids that like to mess around. Layani, a 14-year-old TikToker, was excited to try out a baby swing at the park, since all of her friends were doing it. She just wanted to make a silly TikTok and maybe even gain a few followers. Unfortunately, the foolish girl got stuck in the swing, which wasn't too surprising considering how old she was. In fact, the firefighters had to be involved and she had to be practically cut out of the thing. Good luck explaining why you were late to your parents. If there's one lesson you should learn after watching this video, it's that you should never leave a 4-year-old unattended, no matter where you go. This boy's mother brought him along to a visit to the pedicure store, and seeing that nothing was really interesting there to the boy, he made up his own little game that would get him into some big trouble. The boy found a soda with a hole in it and decided the best option was to put his head through it. The silly little boy spent hours with his neck stuck in the sofa as if he were a rotisserie chicken. His parents had to call the firefighters over. Luckily, they knew exactly what to do. They got their scissors out and started to chip away at the wooden board as well as the foam. After much intense labor and a few laughs, they were able to free the silly little boy with absolutely no injuries. Working with a jittery kid like that is almost like going to surgery. That's all we have for today. Now comment below which of these stuck stories made you laugh the most, and tell us about your own experiences. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trend Joint, and hit that bell icon for more. We'll see you in the next one.